Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9.
Welcome to the show. I am one of your hosts, Dirty. I don't know where Arlington is. He's somewhere kind of on assignment, he told me. So, is he there? I don't know. I can't hear him. Arlington. Okay, I can't hear him. But I'm going to bring in our guest. It's the ref. What's
Getting
up, buddy?
signed up. You know, A-Train Arlington Lane. We may not be able to hear him.
How
but
are you?
I'm living the dream. I'm having a good time. The answer is always yes. How are you? I got to know, how are you feeling? Can you not hear me? Can you hear me now? I'm going to hijack the show. I wonder if everybody else on the internet can hear me. I'm always happy to join the show. Can you hear me now?
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. How are you, man? It's just, it's another one of those days here in the world. We're just all living our, what are we all living? I don't even know anymore.
The dream. Some people say the nightmare. I'm still living the dream. I'm having a good time. We'll see. I want to know though, how are you feeling?
It is.
I'm looking at the title of the show, big merger talks, rumors, innuendo, maybe. But I mean, how are you feeling about all this? Feeling good? Feeling bad?
Heavy. You know what? Fuck this. Here's what I'm doing. Stefan, I know you can hear me.
I can hear you. Yeah.
You can. I can't hear you. So here's what you're going to do. Well, listen, it's always something with me, right? My professional partner isn't here, so there's no telling where that dude's at, right? So I don't know where the hell he's at. He's on here, but you can't hear his at. So I'm doing this. So just keep going.
All right.
What do you think of this merger? Let's talk about that. A lot of people are saying that the merger's not going to happen. Oh, here comes Arlington. Thank you. Finally.
Sign him up. Sign him up. Just in time for the fun. Arlington, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear y'all.
Oh, sign you up. Good. Hey, look, we're making some headway. So the merger, here's the real skinny, man. From what I understand, it's there. I won't say it's happening, right? I'm not going to go out there and say that the pieces that we don't know are all going to match up, right? There's still a lot of discussions that need to be had between the two leagues. We've already heard the chatter on the internet of, well, if it's not going to be all 16 teams, how many teams are they? Where are they going to be at? These are things that only a select few people know. But the things I do know, they are talking. This stems from, this is so interesting, right? So this stems from a conversation that happened earlier this year with Redbird. At least at the time, the way it was pitched to me is that Redbird was reaching out to talk to them, basically so they're not disparaging each other. I know there was some upset feelings about the USFL ad where, we're not Hollywood football. Some people took it personally. Some people took it as a joke. It's a little rib. But so there was the way I was pitched is that conversation was happening to prevent things like that. And I remember at the time I was talking to Zachy Boy. I was talking to my friend, Jimmy James Larson. And I said, it just feels like there's something more, but let's see. I was not prepared to hear the news. I don't think anybody was prepared to hear the news. What was it, last week? It feels like an eternity since this has come out. But here we are. Now it sounds like we should have some news soon. Yeah. Whether it's closing or a statement or something. I was really hoping we'd have it today so we could chit chat about that, but more speculation zone.
Well, now hold on, Stefan. Why are you going to go, ref? Why are you going to go and steal my line? I love the speculation. Why are you stealing my line, bro? Why are you stealing my line?
Stealing your line? I will have you know the speculation zone is an ongoing segment on the USFL podcast and has been for ages. But
it hasn't been. Hold on, listen. It hasn't been for 5 years because this show has been on for 5 years, and the dirty speculation has been going on for 5 years. You stole it, but I still love you, pal. It's all good.
We will have our own separate argument a different day. But you know what? Speaking of 5 years, I was just talking to a couple guys. I was talking to James and a couple. I apologize, whoever it was earlier. Here's what you guys deserve so much credit, because I was just with this merger news. There was a couple of guys that came out and said, look, if this happens, I don't know if I'm going to keep reporting on this. You guys are some of the few. We're like old school at this point. Because you, along with me and a very select few of others, have been around since the original, not the original, but the 2020 version of the XFL, and stuck to it time and time and time again. And sign you guys up. I just want to take a moment to say sign you guys up.
Thank you very much.
Because seriously though, it's a rare occurrence, and anybody who's thinking about leaving, I encourage you not to. I think
Stefan, whoa. We encourage them to leave because we don't need them. They're bums. We're their bums. They're not as good as us, so they need to leave. That's all there is to it. They need to leave.
Go on.
Guys,
sorry.
We kind of see what we're supposed to do. What was supposed to happen when we started the show is this was supposed to happen. This is from our good friend.
Oh, it's our rundown for the day.
This is the rundown for the show. This is what we were supposed to talk about. Thanks, David. We were supposed to have this. These are the things that we were supposed to discuss on the show. And I don't even think I even gave him all the credit that he was looking for, in particular. Because he had another one. He was like, this is what you guys should talk about. And this is what you guys should talk about here. And I think this is it. Or is it the same one? I think it's the same one. It is. But basically, he was like, everything that he had on there, like, we discussed it.
Right.
Talked about it.
What in particular? Let's go over them. Let's talk about
let's give David some credit. David, thank you for programming the X-Fan show tonight with the lovely ref from, he changed the name to the Pro Football Newsroom, and my lovely co-host Arlington. Thank you for programming our show tonight, because this is about the fans. So let's talk about his very first topic, right? He says, when is your show going to talk about why the merger won't happen for 1 to 2 years? Well, let's see. What's up there, Predator couple? Let's see. Arlington, I think we've talked about that before, to nauseum, on this show, hundreds of times.
The last couple of weeks.
Right, but I would throw up in my mouth. Okay, Stefan, argue.
I don't think it's going to take 1 to 2 years. I think we're going to see some. If this goes down, I think we're going to see this in 2024.
I have to agree with you. I think so, also.
Okay, all right. I wasn't sure if I don't know who this David guy is, so I don't.
He's just wanting us to program our show tonight. And you know us, Stefan. We're all about the fans. We let the fans program our show.
The X-Fan show.
That's right. So he gets to program it. All right, Arlington. We talked about that too.
What's the next thing? What's the next thing he wants to discuss?
Yep. Let's talk about the next topic.
Let me make sure I get that back up there. And boom, here it is.
What is it? I can't read it. I'm
about the upcoming, what'd that say?
Upcoming separate XFL and
USFL seasons.
Okay. So let's talk about it then. Let's see. The USFL ref, correct me if I'm wrong, they play in 4 hub cities right now, correct?
That is true. Yep.
Okay. Would you like to tell David what those 4 hub cities are?
So we have beautiful Birmingham, Alabama. Lovely Canton, Ohio. We have my hometown, Detroit City, and Memphis, Tennessee. That's all I'll say about Memphis.
This is only a 4-hour drive for me here in St. Louis.
Oh, there you go. That ain't bad.
So now the XFL played in Seattle, Las Vegas, Houston, Arlington. H-Town, right? They played at San Antonio, Orlando, D.C. Am I missing one? Did I say St. Louis?
I was going to say you missed the most important one.
Missed the most important one, man.
Yeah, St. Louis. But technically, they all played in one hub city because they all practiced in Arlington, Texas, and then they flew out to their home cities. So, was the XFL really not a hub type format? They all practiced in one area. So, I mean, you can honestly say that it probably was just the hub, because that's where their base of operations was in Arlington. The only difference is they played in their home cities.
Yeah, well, and they had a rigged championship game and let the Arlington Renegades win. But we're not going to talk about that.
No, we're not going to talk about Birmingham winning 2 in a row, are we? No, not at all.
Fair enough. Touche.
So, I mean, look. You got the USFL that played in their 4 hub cities. Now, my only problem with and if you guys really want to check out a really good show, check out the Ref and Zach's the USFL podcast. It's a really great show. Everything USFL that you want to know. My only thing, Ref, and you tell me why I should buy into this, was the whole hub city. It looked great in Orlando. It looked great in Birmingham. It looked great in Memphis. It looked good in Michigan. But it was the other games that didn't look good. So why should I buy into the USFL?
Here's why. Because they're still here for season 3.
Okay.
That's why. I mean, time and time again, we just talked about, you guys are one of the select few that have been here since the beginning, since 5 years ago plus, doing this. And how many of these leagues have we seen come and go? We saw the AAF come and go. We saw the XFL 2020 with circumstances come and go. We saw NGL not even come. We saw the MLFB have a jubilee. We saw Fan Control Football play 2 seasons and promise a third, but it's never here. So time and time again, playing in the host cities, yes, I mean, it's optimal. Do I want to play in all host cities? Yes. Does everybody else want to see their teams in host cities? Yes. Does Fox want to have them in host cities? Yes. But I also want to have spring football that's not a different league every year, which we can get to the point that if the USFL and the XFL merge, I would beg and plead, pick a name, but don't pick a name that doesn't exist already. Fans aren't going to understand that. They're going to look at that to the normie fan, the not crazy people like you and me. They're going to say, again, another spring football league, when in reality, it's a continuation, a season 3 of another. But at the end of the day, I mean, the reason why the hubs work is, case in point, what we're seeing with this merger, from my way I understand it, right? There was reports that the USFL lost $60 million in 2023. We heard it was significantly more than that. Funny enough, we report on that. Everybody said we're crazy. We don't know what we're talking about. The same people are saying, well, industry sources say they might have lost more than 60 million. Well, gee, thanks for trying to throw us under the bus a couple months ago when we put out that report. The fact of the matter is, if the XFL wasn't going to have to go move into their own situation, they wouldn't move into their own hub situation on their own, have to backtrack away from 8 cities. I mean, case in point, Vegas. The fact that they had the stadium, I'm not even mad at, but nobody can defend that it was a great stadium. It had golf cart tracks through the flipping middle of it.
Hold on now. Hold on. I can defend it.
Oh, let's hear that.
Yeah, hold on. Be quiet. This is our show. I can mute your ass and then not unmute you for the rest of the show. No. Vegas, yes, it looked like trash. It looked like trash, right? But here's what Vegas had. Vegas had the best fan experience out of all these cities that I went to in the XFL in 2023. The best fan experience I had.
You knew everybody there. There was you and like 12 other people.
No, there was me and 6,500 other people there. I know. I'm just telling you. It wasn't a bad seat in the entire place unless you went to the bathroom.
Yeah. My wife told me the same thing because she played softball on that field in high school.
Right. And the worst part about it was, are you ready? They only had 6 weeks to put all that together.
Fair. No, they did. Honestly, joking aside, the XFL did amazing with what they had to work with. Dude, and here's the thing. I joke, I gag, I have fun. Dude, the XFL, bro, is like one of my true loves. This is why we're all here. Like, I want the idea that these two leagues could come together. It actually has me like hype because it is both of my true loves. Although I think if they want to, they just need to either pick USFL or XFL as a name. They'll probably use them as divisions, but I think creating another new brand is scary to do that in a market that since 5 years since we started, we already rattled off 5 leagues that have come and gone.
Correct. Well, you know, and we have talked about it, and I know you and Zach, me and Arlene have talked about it. I know you and Zach have talked about it. But we have said that is spring football doomed? I mean, think of all of the different leagues we've had throughout the past few years. I mean, right now, the only one, and regardless if you love it or hate it, the only one that has succeeded that's even close to the old USFL is this new version of the USFL. They're going into season 3. All these other spring leagues haven't made it past a year. So are the spring leagues doomed?
I don't think so. I mean, if you look at it, I think it's just about creating, because the market's there, it's creating the local markets. I mean, the credit where credit's due. The group that did it the best was 2020 XFL. They were hitting the flipping pavement. Is it doomed? I don't think so. I mean, the numbers that they're pulling in on TV are comparable, if not better than MLS. And if you look at the amount of money that MLS just pulled in, we're talking not millions, we're talking billions.
Right.
It's really about getting there long enough to get local people to buy in. Like, think of it used to be the Illiches, but now the Rocket Mortgage fella in Detroit. He's so close to buying in. He's got his Rocket Mortgage logo all over everything in Michigan. But if he buys in on a team, hey, that's 1 out of 8, right? 7 more to go. And now if we talk about a merger, some people are angry that some of these cities are going to be shed. And I would be too if it's my city. I'm not going to lie. But now we have the kind of the best of both worlds, because you have Birmingham's a solid market, but now you get a collective league with the holy grail of St. Louis, right? St. Louis is the market, and it proved it not only in 2020, but this past season when even Seattle saw a little bit of a dip. Houston, I saw a little bit of a dip. St. Louis wants that damn football. So any league that can hold on to that market, I feel like can stick around for plenty of years to come. So are they going to have to deal with some hubs for a little bit? Maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
So, Rep, you can agree that I have spoken about this on this show quite often, is that it was about regaining the trust of these cities that you were bringing back in. Because Houston, which was a big surprise to me, that they declined a bit. Seattle, like you just mentioned, a big steep decline. And my belief is retrusting the XFL. Can it work again? And the thing was, the gameplay was great.
Oh, it's amazing.
So I know we talk about how different the USFL and XFL was. XFL and 82% of the games decided by one score. All those games that we had was decided by one score. And so many of them. But my thing is this, it was about regaining the trust.
Right.
And they were like, I'm not sure if I want to be a part of this again. So even with the whole television thing and the streaming, you know there was going to be a deep decline when it comes to ratings like this. You have to understand, 2020, it was a shock factor. Everybody wasn't expecting it. It was going to be a deep decline because of what happened from the XFL, because it was a totally different game.
Sure.
And because it was a totally different game, people was like, I'm not sure. But even then, it was starting to build. And they were building an audience in 2020. And then when it came to 2023, it was like, okay, it's here. Now we're going to have to, all right, the fans that still loved it, they were going to watch it. The others that were probably 2020 fans like, man, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
the marketing, and nothing against it, but they went a little bare bones on the marketing. There were so many people week 3, week 4 that were like, wait, the XFL's back. And it's like, oh, yeah, you know, you forget at work. I call us the crazies. I got that from Seth Lessons. He's no longer on. He's ran away from Twitter since Elon Musk took it over. God bless him. But I will use the crazies. But yeah, the non-crazies, they're not in this every day like us, you know, and so it is really about rebuilding that trust. Houston's a tough market. I think it was just once in a lifetime chance that it worked the last time. Houston is very similar to Arizona, which I was worried that the XFL was going to move there after Vegas, because there's a lot of people from these cities that aren't from these cities, right? So their allegiance is to like random teams. Like, you know, me, I'm from Houston, and a big part of me still wants to support the Michigan Panthers because I'm from Detroit, you know? Anyway, it could be the greatest merger, it could be the worst merger, or it could be no merger at all, right? But if given the choice of seeing these two companies come together or seeing one go away, I'd rather see them come together, right? Hopefully something, you know.
Yeah. As much, and here's my thing. I think what I had been wanting for so long was the fact that the two spring leagues, you know, they come. I'd rather, believe it or not, I wanted them to kind of compete against each other. Now, if they do merge, sure, I want that to happen because I would love to see a championship game between the XFL champion and the USFL champion.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it would really bring some interest to the sport, but the problem will become the TV, the TV market.
So here you go. So here, look, I got something for you. So as I'm looking and as I'm listening to you guys, so as I'm looking here, I just saw the comment, and the ticket prices for Houston just went up. You know, but now you're sitting here and you're talking about a team who doesn't really have anything for Houston, but yet you raise their ticket prices.
You know why they're raising it?
Well, because they got to try to figure out somewhere to put the people.
Well, the rumor on the street is if they merge that the Houston Gamblers are coming to Houston. And I mean, all in, baby, it's worth the extra money. 12-0, all in. Did you know? I hate to break it to you guys. I hate to break it to you. When these two leagues merge, I'm going to tell you 12-0, 24-0, 36-0, maybe 48-0. The Gamblers are going to win at least 3 championships. 3 undefeated, back to back. They're mad about the Stallions now. Just wait.
She said not the prices, but people wanting tickets because of the trust loss. Here's the thing with this XFL, right? And we all three know this because we were entrenched in the 2020 season. We all know there wasn't going to be a 2021 season with the XFL. We all knew Vince was pulling the plug. We all knew it because Vince knew what was coming around the corner, getting in trouble with the sexual allegation stuff and all that. So we knew that wasn't going to happen. Now, the fan bases didn't know it, just like a lot of the stuff. Now the fan bases don't know what's going on. Talking to my insider guy, and they're already talking about how they're going to send XFL people to certain cities to help raise the tickets. And they're already in office talking about what rivalries they want. Now imagine this. The rivalry you could have right here in St. Louis. The St. Louis Battlehawks, which I think if they do a new league, they should change the name. They should change the name to the Riverboats. St. Louis Riverboats is what the name of the new St. Louis team should be for the new spring league that's coming out. And it should be the St. Louis Riverboats versus the Memphis Showboats. I think they should change all the XFL names of every single team. That's what I think they should do. That's right. Change them all the fight names. Arlington is just sitting backstage laughing his ass off at me. But no, I mean, let's really think about this, Rep. You could say that the hub cities didn't work. The USFL showed, like right here, hubs save money. They don't care, but they don't create new interest. Plus, you'll You align a big portion of your existing fan. Put the USFL hub teams and the Vipers in hubs. Leave everybody else alone. To me, I don't think that would make sense.
The only take I would have on that is if, and I don't know nobody knows what the merger is going to look like, but if they had something in place that said everybody that has an existing stadium deal stays as stands, I'm fine with that, because again, why would you want to move if Seattle has a stadium, even though it gets tricky because they're so far West Coast, especially if you eliminate Vegas out of the mix, they're like alienated out there. But again, they have a stadium. Don't lose that. So I'm fine with that, but that does leave open Vegas moving maybe into a hub, Orlando maybe moving into a hub. And if the USFL teams were in a hub, I'm fine with them staying like that. If it means that we're going to see a season 4 and a season 5 and a season 6, the one thing, the one thing that, and I like both leagues, but in talking with some of the folks at Fox, it's not a 1-year plan, a 2-year plan, or even 3-year plan. I've seen 10, 20-year plans. Right. And that was the one thing I talked to of all the questions I had, and of all of them that they absolutely 100% refused to answer. The one thing that they could tell me is whether a merger happens or not, we're playing a season 3. We can't tell you what the hub situation is going to be like. It could be the same or it could be expanded. I've heard rumors that they've been talking to people at Shrine Stadium in New Orleans. We'll see. I mean, because everything's on pause on both sides when it comes to the XFL and the USFL doing any business while they're doing these negotiations. Because, I mean, if they change anything major, it might have to change again. And that's silly. I mean, because, last I stand, Houston, we were just talking about Houston. They're not even going to be at TDECU this year, which is a damn shame because I love TDECU. The rumor is that they were going to move they were at least talking to Rice. I don't know if they made the deal, what's happening. As a season ticket holder, they basically told us, we'll let you know. I would like to know soon.
I think everybody would like to know. That's the problem. Everybody wants to know. And look, you see how I got everybody all in an uproar saying, keep the battle hump name. I'm not saying they're changing. Jesus, people. Look,
I'm joining you. I think it should be the Riverboats. I'm with that.
Dirty speculation. They're changing the name. Dirty speculation. They're changing the St. Louis Battlehawks to the St. Louis Riverboats. Seattle is no longer going to be the Sea Dragons. It's going to be the Sea Weenies. The Vegas Vipers are going to be the new Houston Gamblers. The Arlington Renegades are going to be called the Arlington Renahawks. The San Antonio Brahmas are going to be called the Rock Bottoms. The DC Defenders are going to be called the DC Politicians. Orlando is going to be called the Orlando Swamp Things. What other team am I missing? Is that all the teams?
That might be all the teams. Sorry.
I am
drinking Coors.
Right, yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm changing it out. Denzel. The St. Louis Invaders. That's what changing their name team. The St. Louis Invaders.
And the USFL has that trademarked. Just FYI.
That they do. But I mean, look. Look, we've seen this. The guy, Daniel said, or what was his name? Put that idiot back up there, Arlington. What is that moron's name? What is that idiot's name? I can't remember. What's the idiot's name, Arlington?
David,
that's it. That idiot says Axios is lying. Really? Is Axios lying? Because if I'm not mistaken, there's a certain organization within the XFL that might own the XFL. I know they're all horrible team names, Ryan. You're right. They're all horrible team names because the XFL is horrible because they're going to merge. That's a joke. It's a joke. But anyways, if I'm not mistaken, Axios might have a partnership with a little company called Redbird Capital. What? Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't the USFL that reached out to the XFL. Nope. It was the XFL in Redbird Capital that reached out to the USFL.
Yeah. No, and
my
it's true. It's true. And again, for whatever reason, I know people get, here's the funny thing about the internet, Dirty. You say something and people assign an opinion to that. And so, for example, when I said that Redbird reached out to Fox, everybody's instant opinion was the ref hates the XFL. He's trying to bury the XFL. He's trying to make sure that people think the XFL is having financial problems. And you know what I said? I said Redbird reached out to Fox. That's all I said, right?
Right.
Whatever the reasons. Now, I've heard things, and again, are they true? Aren't they true? I don't care. As long as next year I either have the Houston Gamblers or the Houston Roughnecks. I'm either going all in or I'm roughing them up. As long as I can do one of those two things, I'm happy. As long as a majority of these players, if not all these players, keep their jobs, the coaches, the social media teams. I mean, think about these two organizations.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started on social media teams. Don't get me started.
Well, now I want to get you started. What good or bad?
Okay. Now listen. Listen. All right. Sons of a biscuit eater. You're going to get me started, aren't you?
I need to.
Okay. All right. So hold on. Let me show you something here. Let me get to it. Now, where's my producer at? Put me in the ref back up there. Put us back up there. Now look. There we go. Now, look, I've said some crazy stuff on this show before, right? I've said some crazy crap on this show. Am I right?
I mean, that's why you're my favorite show to jump on. I'll be honest with you.
Because you never know what's going to come out of my mouth.
No, it's great. I mean, we always have so much fun, banter. I feel like, truth be told, we did no planning before this show. I just come prepared to party. And I know any plan we have is going to go out the window, and we're going to have a good time. Case in point, getting started on social media. Let's hear it.
Oh, my God. I think they pulled it. I think they pulled the tweet. Arlington, I think they pulled the tweet.
Did they really?
Okay,
so you got to talk about it now.
Hold on. That's funny that you say that, Arlington, because watch this. Now, ref, I've said some crazy crap on this show before. Arlington, have I not?
True. Come on, man.
True. Right. True. Now, there's a certain song by a certain individual called Strutting on Hose. Strutting on hose. Got to strut on the hose, right?
Sure.
Now listen, I've been told I'm unprofessional. Okay? How are you a professional football team? Okay? How are you a professional football team? God dang it, I'm almost there, Arlington. Be quiet. I'm almost there. I got a lot to do here, Arlington. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed.
We knew that already from the minute that we started doing this show together.
Oh, dang it. Dang it. I can't do it.
No, crap. Don't even bother. We're going to describe. Shut up.
Nope, I can do it right here. I got it. Watch, I got it. I got it right here. Aha. So I just happened to do something. I like causing problems.
Okay.
So here we go. Now, you ready?
Just do it, man. Damn. You driving me nuts.
The suspense is killing me.
Yeah, just do it.
See? Right here. This was posted on the St. Louis Battlehawks social media page on Sunday. AJ McCarron would strut on these hoes. Now look,
I don't see a problem with it.
Hold on now. Hold on. Of course, we don't see why I'm looking like this,
right, Rep? You see why I'm looking like this, right?
Look, of course, we don't see a problem with it. But when you are supposed to be a professional organization, right? Do you want that posted and that to represent your organization?
I'll tell you, the more I think about it, and I'll say it just for this and this alone, the XFL's mission statement when they came out was to be a league of diversity and inclusion. And I will admit, you know what, Hose, that might be the borderline of me. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, because normally I wouldn't agree with that, but now I kind of see where you're coming from.
You have a woman.
Statement. Say that.
You have a woman share owner, and that's what you put out.
Well, there it is.
Let me ask you this: what if we find out?
That's what you decide you want to be the brand of your league. Don't sit there and say, I'm unprofessional because of the way I act and the way I am on this show. I have never once in the 5 years of doing this show, in 5 years, have ever said anything degrading to a woman like this, ever put anything like this. Have I eviscerated a few people on the air? You're damn right I have. You're damn right. Not gonna lie. Damn right I have. But I've never done anything like this. To sit there and say that I'm the one that's unprofessional? I told you, Jeffrey. I told you, Russ. I told you, Brian, I was going to talk about this on the show. Told you. You didn't want to respond with, we will look into it, yet you keep it on your Twitter page. How do you have a woman share owner, and that's what you post to represent your biggest fan base? Don't ever again when I'm around you say I'm unprofessional. Don't ever say it. Because I have that, and I will pull it up, and I will show you who is unprofessional. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm done.
I'm just looking at the sign in the back, and it just says trick. You didn't even put the tree in there.
Hey, sir. Hey, sir. I don't know what these think anymore, dude. I don't even know what they think.
You need to get into wrestling, bro.
I get it. And it's just what the ref said. It's just what he said afterward. Like, you got that still sitting there right there in front of you. Like, throw it out or something, man. But here's my thing.
Oh, go on. No, you go.
No,
sorry.
here's my thing, though. It is true what he said. There's not really anything wrong with where he's coming from. That if you're saying you are a professional football league and you're about diversity, inclusion, and all this stuff, why would you have your social media team put out, I'm stunting on these hoes? And see, here's my thing, and it's like, well, y'all being like old men about it. No. You call a spade is what's happening here.
And let me say it, because I don't know if anyone will. You might, because you guys will say anything. That's why I love you guys. But let me be the one to fucking say, oh, sorry, I shouldn't.
Oh, no, you good.
You good.
Get out of the picture. What are you doing here? What's up with you?
Let me say one thing.
Yeah.
He has never, and I'm a woman, never disrespected me either.
Sign him up. But let me be the one to say it, because I remember a time. Let me get my Lipton tea out with Kermit the Frog, when a certain XFL went to all the XFL podcasts and said, hey, you can't use our name in your podcast name. And everybody had to rebrand within like 2 days. And I had so many people that I talked to, and I remember, and maybe Dirty, you might have been one of them. And I remember saying at the time, I wouldn't do it. Because what did they promise? They said, look, if you don't change your name, we're not going to work with you. We're not going to let you do interviews and this and that. And I watched one by one after another change their name. And, funny enough, a lot of these guys still couldn't get interviews, still couldn't get any of that reciprocal action when they changed their name. And I mean, as a person that is rebranded more times than I can count and would like to, profootballnewsroom.com, by the way. It's
great
not fun.
Plug. I love it, man.
You know me, I got to throw it in there, but it's not fun. And honestly, and when everybody's doing it at the same time, it's like a mad grab for names. And I mean, with X, I mean, there's a few choices that like everybody's trying to grab, you know. So I mean, that to me wasn't cool, because I'll be quite honest with you, I just started the USFL podcast. Did I ask permission? Hell no.
No.
Did they come after me?
You
No, they were
did,
like,
right.
hey, thank you, please, thank you for talking about us. Sign you up. You need anything? Like, why the new XFL would like do what they did? Don't they want people talking about them? Are they crazy?
Listen,
sorry,
Ref. They embraced y'all. That's what got me. When you came out with the USFL podcast, I said, Dirty, the USFL has not said anything to them about it. As a matter of fact, they've embraced them.
They were down on their knees, gargling at your guys' feet, kissing your feet. Kissing your guys' feet.
Stop it.
I thought you were going to say something else.
Listen here, you perverts. This is a family-friendly show. You two perverts, get your mind out of the gutters.
That's the word fuck has been used in this show. Our family-friendly went out the window a long time.
But no, I mean, that was the funny thing is the difference between the two leagues. In 2020, when we used the XFL STL talk show, right? The original guys were like, yeah, man, we'll talk to you. They didn't help us out a lot. Only one person did, because the one guy who allowed the tweet to go up, who's unprofessional, didn't want to help us out.
Who you're talking about too, which is, you're right. You are right. I won't say it, but you are right.
Listen, I don't know. All I know is that, and then when 2020 happened or 2023 happened, you're right. Got a phone call. You need to change your IP. Here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do for you. Okay? And then what did you do for us? Absolutely nothing, because you said we were unprofessional. You said we were basement dwellers. Hold on, listen. You said we were basement dwellers. You said we had no followers. You said we didn't have anything. But yet, this little bitty thing that me and that dude right there created 5 years ago with this show, Beat Hog Live, just did a charity event. Just did a charity event for Autism Speaks and raised over $6,500. But yet we didn't have a following. We didn't have listeners. You said we were unprofessional. Unprofessional my ass, because we had over 200 and something people show up. That's why this is all gone. That bought tickets. Yet we're unprofessional, yet you allowed your social media to put that out there. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be disgusted with yourself as a professional league. God bless America. You guys got me going again.
This is why I love being on this show. I need to come on more often. My favorite time coming on your show is the one time I wasn't invited, when Zach was on and I just hijacked the chat. That is my favorite appearance, by the way.
But see, here's the thing, though. There's the thing. There's a method to my madness, and I can see something happening with this group here. These two guys. I don't even have to be a part of it. I can be behind the scenes. Because I just want to see you two. That's where I'm at now. I'm at a place where you two going at it. This would be great. And so, but my thing is, even with all that being said, my thing is with Ref, USFL embraced y'all. They have they even allowed you to do spring stop from Birmingham when you guys did that. You know what I mean? They had like, what do you need? What can we get for you? That's the stuff that we were looking for with the XFL, but they were so on penny pinching that it was they didn't even want anything to do with people that would push the league. We're pushing your league. We're making sure that fans come out and see y'all. This is your product. Even though y'all would talk bad about how the marketing was, we still was like, hey, you should check out an XFL game.
Yeah.
It's really good football. And all of and you have, like, the thing was, all of these NFL haters and fans and stuff that was like, this is trash. Why am I watching it? But they turned around and said, hey, this ain't bad football. It's actually pretty good. And it was.
Yeah.
It was, man. Like, you did. You like literally cut 2 promos But see, that's the thing. When you have a guy that has background in professional wrestling, he's gonna cut some stuff like that.
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing is that we worked so hard to build what we've built in doing all this. You know, like right here, because this is where I'm going to lead up to this right here with, hey, ref, are you signed up for the merger yet, or does it need more time? You know
All
what I
in.
mean?
All in.
I mean, right. I'm all in. And I've always been. I remember when the day it announced that the XFL was coming to St. Louis, I called Arlington. There was two people I called. I called Arlington and I called the good doctor. I'm like, we're doing a show about the XFL. Don't know what the team name's going to be, but we're just going to right now call it XFL STL. And we built it up. We helped build up the St. Louis fan base to what it is today. Okay. And but now we're at a point now where you're starting to see the two fan bases. And Eric, that's one of the reasons why we're having you on, because you're really the voice of the US. You and Zach are the voice of the USFL voice, of the fan base. You know what I'm saying? Right. I consider it too.
I appreciate it.
I mean, I do. That's why we tried to venture into the USFL, and we were just like, no, Zach and the ref got that market cornered.
I swear.
They got it, Mark. They got it cornered. Let them have it.
I swear, ref. They's like, hey, we looked at that. I said, if you really look at that show, man, they got that stuff cornered, man.
No.
As a marketing guy, you just boosted my ego quite a bit. So
hey,
thank you.
Ducky even showed up.
Yeah,
Ducky
the community legend.
Yeah.
Ducky even showed up.
You guys like Ducky, the community legend, right?
Yo, Ducky cracks me up,
a fan of ours. He cracks me up. He's just not really a fan of ours.
No. He's not a fan of what. Let me tell you this. I don't want to expose Ducky at all, for real. But Ducky likes both leagues. The thing is, he just loves to troll, just like somebody else I know.
No, Ducky's salted earth.
I don't troll. Who trolls here?
See, I would say Ducky doesn't troll. He just tells the truth. And people don't like to hear it.
I'm petty, but I don't troll. I'm petty, but I don't troll. Not at all.
See, like right here. Look, right here.
Yes. Hey, this is another thing that that you should know. In St. Louis did not embrace the Battlehawks. The only reason that they're embracing it now is because it's almost like they had to force themselves to embrace it. Mm-hmm. Like they weren't going to.
It's crazy with all those people coming to those games. You would have thought, like, after the first game in 2020, they would have been like, oops, get on it.
And here's my thing. You would expect, because they get the coverage with the Cardinals, the St. Louis Blues, and they're not on any network. They're not on any network on, regular television, local TV. They're on cable. Right. But they cover them like it's nothing. Battlehawks. Oh man, they looked at them like they were pieces of trash.
Well, we had told the league.
You said what?
We had told the league, Arlington. I remember when we were at Bar Louie's in St. Charles. We had over 500 people show up to an event that we knew the Battlehawks were going to be there, so we put out an event on Facebook. We had 500 people show up to Bar Louie. Right. And I told them right there in front of Kurt Hunzinger. I'm like, you need to open up the entire dome. You'll sell it out. There ain't no way we'll do it. It's $10,000 to open up the dome. I said, I'm telling you right now, open it up. I'll sell it out. It turned away 20,000 people the very first game.
Right. Yeah. It's a shame.
20,000. And I'm just like, whatever. But no, we're here to talk about the merger. Okay. Somehow we got all sidetracked because Arlington.
You talking about the merger between Newsroom and X-Fan Show?
I'm telling you. So I'm glad you brought it up because I was going to do this too. On our show, we say no curtains. We have no curtains. So we've been talking about this forever, about you guys joining Newsroom. Are we going to make it happen? We can talk about it live on the air. Let's do it.
I mean, we can talk, man. Like, listen here, man. I look at it like this. There's a place where if we can be loose, if we can keep doing what we're doing, we just keep it going.
I roll with Ducky.
On a different
platform. You think I care? I mean,
we'll be on a different kind of platform. So I'm like,
Well, have you guys been to the Discord? Discord.gg/PFN?
Yes, I'm on it now.
Dude, the Discord is the place to be.
Listen, I'm a 47-year-old man, so you're telling me now I got to get on Discord?
Yeah, you do.
Do
You'll
I?
love it or hate
The
it.
conversations are amazing.
Yeah,
I just go there to look.
Seriously, bro, you don't even know that people. I feel bad for some folks. They think they're walking into a pro football Discord, and next thing you know, there's love triangles. There's all sorts of crazy things going on in the Discord, bro. It is
on the Monopoly game.
I could have never created this if I tried. That's
Love triangle kind of sounds familiar.
Right. I know exactly what he's talking about. Yeah, see, like what Ducky say, the reason he chose Newsroom is to be himself. And here's my thing. It was always there. Us working at it, we just was like, hey, we wanted to see what we could do ourselves.
Right.
But there's nothing wrong with getting some help. Because guess what?
We're all one team anyway. We're all working for one goal.
Guess what? Hey, Ref, I might want to bring some more people in.
Hey, sign us up. The more, the merrier. That's the way I look.
Look at this. Not sure Dirty would survive in Discord. Seriously?
Dude, I'll be honest with you.
Really?
Dude, I don't know, man. It is. It's a hard man's game in that Discord some night, man.
Let me go ahead and put that down for a second. I just watch. I have to watch from time to time because I'm like, what in the hell is going on in Discord? What did I get myself into?
I have a feeling I would survive in Discord just fine.
I think you'll be fine. I think you will.
Outside of some words that you need to spell correctly, yeah, I think you'll be good.
Hey, listen. You can say all you want. I can't spell. I'll admit. I can't even spell cat. Pussy cat.
Wait. You can't even spell the word that's sitting on the wall next to you, and you can look at it.
TIRC.
He proved
it. DICK.
There we go.
But see, here's the thing, though. But the merger, this merger is going to happen. Yeah. We're letting you know live.
Let's get back to talk about it, okay? So before I went on my tirade again for calm me down about being unprofessional. Serenity now. Perfect. Anyways, this, in my opinion, there's a lot of variables to this merger.
Very much so.
A lot. Yes, Will, you have been there. Oh, is he talking about Discord?
Stay to the topic, dude. Stay to the topic.
Right, yeah. The scroll just ran by. There's a lot of stuff that happened with this, right? I know if you do the digging, the whole thing with The Rock and Disney, the Disney cutting the Rock's partnership. Shake your head all you want, Arlington, but it's the truth. You know it. The ref knows it. This is why this merger they started it. And listen, in that email that I sent, I'll give you another little tidbit. You ready for this one, ref? This ain't speculation or anything like this, right? When you email somebody from the XFL, it's their first last name at XFL.com. Am I right? Am I right, fellas?
Oh my God.
Yep.
Am I right? Okay. In that email, I sent it to all the top brass, and it got returned. 2 of them got returned to me.
Okay.
2 of them got returned. Would you guys like to know who it was?
Say it. Just say it. Just go and say it.
I gotta know now.
Would you like to know?
I'm my interest is piqued.
Danny.Garcia at XFL.com and Dwayne.Johnson at XFL.com. Email undeliverable. Undeliverable.
I will say that is by no means confirmation, but it is interesting.
No, it's not, so take it for what it's worth. Take it for what it's worth.
I told him, now listen, I told him this. I said that maybe they're switching email. And that this is just something that they're gonna do for when they go to whenever the merger happens, and they will have a new. He took it as the end is near for the both of them.
Let me finish. So out of the 32 people that I emailed, that picture to, only 2 was returned.
Now, I will play devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
Because with Newsroom, I make all my writers and everything, they have Newsroom emails. And I don't use a Newsroom email. I use my own, because my email, and I'll even leak it on air, I don't care, because I'm so proud of my email. It's my first name at my last name.com, Stefan@raychuck.com. To me, I can't get a better email than that. You can't forget it. It's my name. You know what I mean? So to the speculate that they are already big wheeling, dealing Hollywood business people. They could have like at sickbucks.com or whatever.
Okay. All right.
I will say it is interesting nonetheless. It is interesting.
All right, Ref. So here's something else I'll tell you.
Okay, yes.
So throughout the 2023 season,
okay, all right.
And up until just recently, I was in I had correspondence with 2 certain people on their email chains. Up until Sunday, it was still Danny.Garcia@XFL.com and Dwayne.Johnson@XFL.com. Up until Sunday.
A little bit more interesting. That is interesting. Now, I would be surprised if there's a merger, if they're both out of the picture. I guess I just assumed or imagined that Fox would want, if they're going to merge these things, kind of the best of both worlds, to get Dwayne to still kind of be a figurehead.
Yeah.
Interesting, though. I might have to start poking some folks around the back alleys and see what I can find out about that one now. Because now you got
ask your boy. Ask your boy James Larson right here, because he's on there.
Check this out. I'm glad you brought that up, Dirty, since you want to throw this out here. So there is a relationship that just if you want to go back with the Rocky stuff, he was on SmackDown about a couple weeks back. Because everything is, believe it or not, I'm gonna help you out with this one. It's tied with the XFL, right? And this potential merger. So SmackDown, the WWE just announced that SmackDown will be moving to the USA Network.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Who owns the USA Network? Comcast, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Comcast has what other network that holds USFL games?
NBC.
And USFL and USA, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then also with Fox, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at this rate in the game, you are seeing potentially maybe a phase out here, or maybe just be getting back into the picture. You don't know,
right?
You don't know what I'm saying. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if they're not there or not. I'm just telling you from the things that I've seen in the past with correlations that I've had. That's all I'm saying.
Let me find out. Danny.Garcia at NSFL.com shows up.
Yes.
Do it right now.
No. We're not going to do it now. We can't do it now.
I'm going to do it. You know what? Yes, we can. I'm going to do it right now. Yes, I can. Watch. You ready? I'm doing it live on the air. You ready? I'm going to do it live on the air. I'm doing it live on the air. Doing it live on the air right now as we speak.
I'm going to join you too. Danny.Garcia at NSFL.com. Let's try. It's DNY or DANY.
Oh my God.
You there?
Here we go.
That's the headline. Test, question mark.
Garcia, what are we using? What are we using?
At NSFL.com.
NSFL.com.
I hope it goes through just because.
Hold on. Are you ready? It says there's a Garcia at NSFL.com.
Huh?
So
that's
here we go.
Garcia, don't it?
No, that's Garcia.
Spell that.
No, that's Gracia.
Thank you. Thank you.
Damn it.
I told you, Reppy can't spell. You sure you want him on the Discord, man?
So I did get a bounce back, but I don't know. I don't know where this NSFL name came from, other than that they used it for when they onboarded the trademark. So I mean, it could be that. I'll tell you. Do you want to know my pick? And this is going to make XFL fans angry, but I mean, whatever. United Spring Football
I saw that.
League.
Yes, I thought it.
It's right fucking there, man. It's there.
I'm going National Spring
Yeah,
Football.
see, right here.
And the only reason why I say that for this reason. I say NSFL because National Spring Football League, you have the National Football League, right? They're very much coincide with one another, fall and spring, right? And they already partnered with the NFL, right? So it just would make sense to just call it a National Spring League, since that's how they're going to use it as a development league. It pisses me off. You already know how I feel about that. But it just would make perfect sense, to kind of correlate it. Same way like what the NBA does with the G League.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it would make more sense to call it the NSFL.
Can I ruin the name for you?
USFL would be cool, but it just seemed like more professionalism with that. It would be the NSFL.
I'm going to ruin the name for you real quick, because all I see when I see NSFL is not safe for life. That's all I see, and I can't get over it every time I see it. And I'm like, God. So now that it's in my head, I have to put that worm in everybody else's head. Just hear me out. And again, I'm fine if they change the name, but they really shouldn't. They should keep either XFL or USFL. You're going to alienate one of the groups anyway, right?
But the names, some of the teams will remain. It's just that the brand is going to be different.
Which, can we talk about that? What was the XFL thinking changing their damn logo? I like the new logo, but 2020, man, they had everything perfect.
I'm going to say it for this reason, and Dirty knows it too. I think the reason why they changed the logo, and I know everybody was up in arms about it, is because of the ownership. It wasn't Vince's league anymore. Yeah. This was their league. Right. And so they wanted it different. They wanted everything cut in black and white.
Yeah.
Diversion, equality, and inclusion.
Right. I get that.
And it sounds political as hell. But my thing is with that was they were trying to be gray. They were trying to be the gray area, right? So I'm glad you brought this up, Stefan, because when they had the XFL in 2020, it looked hella political. Stances where even conservatives was going online saying, I'm all in for the XFL. They were using your words for that league because it was depicting patriotism. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm like. But the thing was, it was the game that outplayed what the logo looked like.
Oh, sure. And
that was the thing. And so they chose, hey, it was defined. This is how we're going to define our league, black and white. Vince did it with his red, white, and blue, which was nothing wrong with it.
Arlington, look, James Larson's trolling you, Arlington. Don't you ever call Rep Stefan again.
I did. When I called him.
A couple minutes ago, but it's okay. It's my name. I've been called much worse.
He called it himself. He said it during the show. So no, you can't win this one, James. I'm sorry. You can't win this one when he said it himself. So I'm sorry. You lose that battle.
I mean, look, so here's the thing. I mean, look, you guys can sit here, everybody can sit here and complain all they want about which league is actually winning in this merger. You want my opinion from being in the business standpoint? It's the one who reaches out saying, hey, we need help. That's the one who actually lost.
No, I point to him because they reached out to them.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
They reached out to them. They reached out to us. Hey, we're too good. We're too good for you guys. We don't need y'all.
This right here, this X-Fan show reached out to these guys below us, this USFL show, because we lost a buttload of money. Back to what I was saying with The Rock losing his partnership with Disney, getting cut ties with Disney, getting cut ties with NBC, all of that.
Which is a shame because Young Rock was good. I will give him that.
It really was.
I love Young Rock.
And so here's the other thing it shows you too. Even though that Danny Garcia was the chairperson and the head of the XFL, how much did The Rock and Danny actually own? Because it was Redbird Capital and Jerry Garnella that reached out to the USFL literally the day after the championship of the XFL championship.
You don't think that they sat around and talked about this?
Oh, during the season?
I don't know.
100%. Well, here's the thing. The writing's on the wall, too. In hindsight, you can kind of see it because it was shortly after the season. They changed a lot of the staff workers' contracts to seasonal. And I remember the defenders out there saying, no, this is normal. I said, no, I don't know. You know, I'm an old ass man, and I don't recall that happening in like every other fucking business ever.
Hey, remember, Dirty, that a certain guest that came on our show kind of leaked it out by accident and didn't even know. Yeah, we brought a certain coach on the show, and he kind of leaked some information out that he didn't realize that he did, and we didn't even know until after the fact that he was like, "What I say?" And but that was the thing. It was the fact that it was seasonal work.
Yep.
Because he was already going back. He's in Charlotte.
Which is a shame. So, I mean, go on. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's the thing. So, regardless of who reached out to who, okay, for these two leagues to survive, they need to merge. Now, we talked about it on this show. Ref and Zach, I'm sure you guys talked about it on your show. We didn't want them to merge right away. We were saying maybe 4 or 5 years doing expansion and all that, okay? This is why it's going to go back to that very first point that I made. Is spring football really doomed because of this merger?
Well, I'll say this. I'll argue your point that these two companies don't need to merge to survive. The XFL needs to merge to survive. The USFL, you can be angry at their hub situation. You can be upset that it's taking longer to get on their host cities, but they're still here. They're guaranteed to have a season 3. I won't say they're guaranteed to have a season 4, 5, 6, 7, but I've with my eyes seen plans where there is so many things that they're not doing that they plan to do, like for season 4 and 5. To me, that they are in this for the long run. I mean, at the championship game, the inaugural championship game, we went to the after party. We met Eric Shanks there, the president of Fox Sports. He gave a speech. This dude, maybe he's the best liar in the world. But this guy was in it to win it. And that night, even before it went out on social media, he told everybody, we are back and we're going to grow every year. It might not be the growth that everybody expects, but we're going to grow in a way that we're still here. We're going to do what the other leagues couldn't do. And at the time, last year, they were the first spring football league in nearly 40 years to play a season 2. They're about to become the first spring football league in nearly 40 years to play a season 3. And God forbid, or not God forbid, but God hope they get to season 4. And then
they'll be the greatest. They'll be the most successful.
Yeah, exactly. So we're so close. Now, if the XFL merging with the USFL helps them expedite getting into all those markets, because that's the thing is they want to get to 8 markets, but they were still open to the idea of expanding to more than 8 teams before they even got them into their markets. And so the way I look at it is if we get 10 to 12 teams, that's kind of the idea right now. I'm leaning towards 12, but it could easily be 10. But if we get 12 teams and a majority of those are in the city, and it has to be Houston, if anybody's listening or I'm boycotting, then I think we're looking pretty good. And then it comes down to the year after year.
Because it's the biggest city. It's the biggest city market in spring football.
Yeah, and we have swangers, bro. Ain't no other city have swangers.
Now look, we go back to the merger here. From the way I've heard it from my story, everybody wants to talk about their source within the league, source within this, blah blah blah, whatever. It's looking to be more like 14 teams. Now you think about it, the USFL has always said they want to grow, like you said, expand, right? The XFL said they want to expand, right? No, okay, hold on now. This is because it's right. So the USFL may not need to merge for financial reasons, but this hub business isn't growing their markets. They will not survive either if they can't expand the interest of their products. Really? Because just like the rep said, they're going to year 3. Mm-hmm. They're going to year 3. They have all the TV rights. They have all the advertising. Do they really need fans when you're charging? How much are you really making on fans if you're only charging $10 a ticket?
Well, I'll tell you this. You know how much money the XFL's making on fans? A big fat egg, man, because they're got to give that money to ESPN because they're paying for the stadium. So, I mean, at the end of the day, there's pros and cons to both of these things. Mm-hmm. But if we can get this thing to 5 years, the MLS, the way we were talking about this earlier, the MLS, they signed a multi-billion-dollar deal for numbers that rival the USFL and the XFL, right? Mm-hmm. To me, that shows if they can just stick it out and build and get in. They already have the TV. That's the thing that kills these damn things always is TV and money. With Fox, maybe money if their bottom line's getting too red, but TV you never have to worry about. Another thing you need to think about, okay, no fans and stands because it's a home game that's really an away game. At the same time, Fox now doesn't have to pay like Major League Darts to air their championship at 9 p.m. on a Saturday. They're airing the USFL or a replay of the USFL at 2 a.m. on Fox Sports 1 or 2. You know, like these are, it sounds dumb, but it's true. It's like, it's one less thing they have to worry about in their programming schedule, and they own that footage forever, right? Mm-hmm. And even if they don't get owners for all the teams, let's say they get owners for 4 teams, and they were already, and this was always my problem with the independent owners on both sides. I said, man, it's going to be hard for one of these leagues to get an owner because if you're an owner that you're interested in spring football and there's 2, chances are you're probably going to go to both. And you have 2 pieces of paper in front of you. One's the XFL, one's the USFL, and you're looking at the XFL and you're like, wow, in 2020, wow, look at all these partnerships they have. And then you get to, the actual revenue and you're like, oh, wow, that's a lot of red. And wow, these partnerships were really just holdovers from 2020. They're not new partnerships. And you get to the USFL and, it's not a lot of green, but it's green. They have partnerships. They're not giving away ads during the championship. And this is me just looking at it as a businessman. I'm a ruthless marketing executive at heart. And when I look at those things, I'm like, well, that's going to be hard to sell. And I mean, inevitably, I think a lot of people were hoping that these leagues would come together, but you guys brought it up earlier. I don't think anybody expected it to happen now. I think we were expecting like next year, maybe at the earliest, year after years, so on and so forth. But the beautiful poetry to come out of this all is really the fact that Fox wanted to buy the XFL during bankruptcy, and they turned down what I heard was around $150 million, only for Vince to get rid of it in an auction for what, 15? Only for Fox to get it again. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Vince, what are you thinking? But I think and I know that was probably a sneaky plan to try to get his own company back on the cheap without paying the bills. That didn't work because investors start getting salty or stock.
Hold on. Here's the funny part. Here's the funny part about this. You guys read that?
Yeah.
He's wrong though, because we got
That's what I'm saying.
2.5 million views on that Kentucky Derby lead, and I don't recall the XFL hitting 2 million ever in the whole league. Which again, I love the XFL. I watched every XFL game. I really need to check myself because people always like, well,
Look, you're right. No, but here's the thing: the ratings were equal.
Yeah,
while that season
when you
was
look at
going
the
on.
end of the year, it really was. The average was like the same. It was like hundreds off. With the USFL,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the USFL was on a major TV market. Okay? Here's the thing. This is the thing that's funny about these two leagues is they have such a diehard fan base. They have such a diehard fan base. Like literally, when the season was going in 2023, in the beginning of the season, in the 2022 season, I watched every USFL game, watched the championship, right? XFL, USFL 2023. I watched all the XFL that last month. I watched both teams. I watched both leagues. Now, by the time the middle of May came, I was already done with football. So I was like, all right, I'll pay attention, and then I'll watch the championship game. That's what I did.
Yeah.
That's what I did. Now, I think the problem with the USFL, the reason why the ratings fell off for the USFL late in the season is because of where it was at. By that time, people were footballed out.
I agree with that. Yeah. I mean, especially when you had league, NFL go right into the XFL, and then that's a lot to ask of football fans. I agree. I agree. And that's another thing. I think this will help that situation. Now, you know what I'm really looking forward to? A whole new, different level of rivalry. No longer are we destined to rival just based on geography alone. No. Just imagine Battlehawks versus Stallions fans. Those are the things that dreams of to be made of. Oh my God. Sign us up there, right?
Yeah, can you imagine? Again, like I said, you got St. Louis. Okay, let's say this happens, right? Okay, then there ain't no if this happens. It's when it happens. And here's what I'll give you. I'll give you my speculation. I'm saying the dust will clear. The dust will clear by the end of this week. We should know something by the end of this week or the beginning of next week after the dust clears. You don't believe me? Reach out to your people. Reach out to their people. Are they? Because I know I see a lot of brothers kissing their sisters here in St. Louis too. That's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about that one. But no, I mean, now think about it. When this merger happens, okay? Look, if they go to the hub cities, now we have 8 teams in the USFL or 4 teams in the USFL that don't have hub cities, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. That don't have home cities. So that is New York. That is who are they?
The 4 that don't have home cities.
Well, USFL or you talking about USFL, right?
USFL.
Yeah. So the 4 that don't have a home city, what we have: the New Jersey Generals, the Philadelphia Stars, the best team in the league, the Houston Gamblers, and Pittsburgh is pseudo a home as Canton. Who is the?
That's it. That's what it is.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah.
You're
right. You're right.
Your 4 hubs are Michigan, Canton, Memphis, and Birmingham, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and the Breakers. So now, I knew there was another one. The Breakers.
Right. The Breakers. Right. Okay. So now think about this. The USFL is not west of the Mississippi, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
They're not west.
Nice.
Now, the XFL has 2 teams west of the Mississippi. Vegas.
Well, you got 1 team west of the Mississippi, and that's Houston.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going by geography, Houston was west of the Mississippi.
So is St. Louis. That's why it's called Gateway to the West.
Yeah, but go ahead.
And that's the truth.
Well, we're talking about the USFL. The USFL only has one city. Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, you're right. Oh shit, you're right. Houston is west of the Mississippi. Boy, what an idiot.
I should have known that too, but
yeah. Right. Okay.
I'm from Detroit.
Anyways, back to what I was saying. So from what I'm hearing, it's going to be 14 teams. 2 teams are going to be gone. It's going to be the Vipers, and then it's going to be one of the Houston teams.
Yeah, the Roughnecks are going away.
Okay, but anyways, we'll just say the Houston team. So now you think about it. So Vegas is gone, right?
Mm.
Okay. So you have Seattle still west. Okay.
That's tough.
So you could
too.
take it is tough, but you could take a team and put one of the four teams in Seattle. So there's one hub, Seattle. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you could take, let's say, you got, because then you have Dallas or Arlington, who is the hub city for all the XFL, right?
Right.
So you can just take, let's just say you take the Houston team to Seattle. So there's your one hub. You bring St. Louis and you bring another team to St. Louis. So either, I don't know, whatever team you want. So you could do it with the other four teams to have your hub cities.
Mm-hmm.
And then now this is how I'm hearing they're supposed to do it. They're going to be doing 6 hub cities is how they're supposed to be doing
Yeah, I
it.
heard that too.
Now, again, I'm sorry, Russ, but Vegas is gone. Vegas is gone. And one of the Houston teams is gone. So that's what you can do in this merger.
Mm-hmm.
You can. You have enough to do it, okay? Now, imagine, like right here what Ryan said. St. Louis and Memphis would be a badass rival. I'm telling you this right now, St. Louis fans. We have a hub city, okay? Flame Wingman, I don't know how they're going to do the damn hubs. I'm just throwing it out there.
And that's why I've been looking at you crazy this entire time. Because
I'm an idiot.
Trying to explain this, it is like unbelievable. Like your dirty man. I hate when you do dirty man.
Well, you know what they could do? You know what they could do, and this will make all Breakers fans mad, which isn't hard. But they can move the Breakers to Seattle as a hub and rename them the Portland Breakers, which they were.
Yeah.
So I'm just making some math work for you, you know.
See, there you go. See, told you I'm not an idiot. But anyways, you think about this, St. Louis fans. We do this if they do this hub city, okay, and they have a team play here in St. Louis. You guys want to talk about, we would support a hub city. We would support a hub city. We would go to both games. We would go to both games. Rah, rah, rah. Rah, rah, rah. We would be like Birmingham and only go to our home team games. We would go to all the games. All the games. Well, guess what? If they do it, you sons of bitches better be at both games. Be at both games. Support it.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't suck that this merger is going to happen. Yes, it sucks. But for these leagues to survive, that's what we need.
For the XFL to survive. I'm just saying.
For the USFL to survive, that's what we need.
You know what? I won't be mad at more teams. I won't be mad at it. And I'll be, again, we don't know what the league's going to be. We don't even know if it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen, but we don't know if it's going to happen. I mean,
Ref, I just told you. I just told you. By the end of the week, the dust will settle.
Yeah. I hope it happens sooner rather than later, just so, because I mean, the speculation is, it always runs wild during these things. Everybody wants to be the first to report on these things. And that's when this lovely spring football community that we all enjoy becomes like ruthless, just unhinged.
Hey, listen, I know that East Coast, they love reporting everything first. The East Coast
I can't stand it.
The East Coast loves reporting everything first. That's all That's how I always did. You know, like New York. Hold on, like New York. Listen, like New York, DC, Connecticut. They all have to be. First. They all have to be first.
You are so wrong for that. You know,
it's always been that way. In the media.
I mean, I get it. The East Coast does have like the big news cycle. The West Coast get everything late, just like everybody else.
Right. Well, they're up earlier.
Right.
Got 3-hour head start on them. I mean,
exactly. Here he goes. Look, I bet Dirty bets his whole paycheck on news dropping this Friday. LOL. Well, like I say, everybody's got sources. Now, everybody's got sources, and maybe my source might have said the dust settles this week. We should hear something either by the end of this week or the beginning of next week.
Bring it on. And
That's
hopefully
all
it's
I'm
good
saying.
news that everybody enjoys. Wouldn't it be, you know what would be amazing if this goes through and they're like 16 teams all in home cities and everybody that was all worried and angry, then it's celebration. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not.
Hell no.
But it would be awesome if it did, baby. Sign us
Hell
up,
no.
you know.
Absolutely not. It will not do that. Because listen, Vegas is already, as much as I love to see Vegas where, Vegas work, it wasn't going to work where they're at. And
I love Ducky goes, I'm only here to cause chaos.
we know, Ducky, we know.
Ducky,
we know.
I welcome chaos. I live
we
in
know.
chaos.
Wait a
Come
minute.
on, baby.
Wait a minute. That means Ducky's got to come on the show.
Yes, you should have him. I'm going to, here's some news. Ducky's going to help me co-host on episode 69 in 2 weeks.
Oh, for real? With the podcast? I love why you did that. I think I caught on.
I caught it, but listen, if you want the master of 69, right? You want the master of 69. I mean, look at my name. Ducky asked, how did we get our names? Well, Ducky, I got my name because I'm dirty. I was a trash man.
Oh, God, shut up. Anyway, I'm just...
I love
but listen,
love it.
I'll tell you what. We did this before. We did it before last year. Maybe a chance we can do this again. We had 4 of us come out and we just go do a whole crazy show, man. Like, we got to come on the USFL podcast, man. We got to.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, Zach's taking a little bit of a hiatus just because his work schedule's a little goofy now. So I have the next 3 hosts lined up, but we'll reach out. So maybe the one after that we'll rotate, or either have you both on. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
But back to the big news, the merger between the X-Fan Show and Pro Football Newsroom.
The biggest news, the only news,
the biggest news of all spring football.
Yeah. Dude, I'm looking forward to it. So here's what I need. I need you guys to send me your logo.
Are we working out the details now live on the air?
That's what he said.
All right, let's do it.
I just need so send me your logo. And then
so it can't be my butt crack.
But wait.
Down, sign it up.
wait, Ref. If we give you the logo and they change the name, what's this gonna make at this point?
Well, I mean, then you change the logo. We'll figure that out when it comes. I mean, I can update another image. Shit,
it's gonna wind. I'm telling you, what's gonna wind up being is gonna be a merged show. I'm telling you now, what's gonna happen.
Hey,
and look,
because I have thoughts for other shows that we're working on that I think you guys would be perfect for.
You two going at it, the Ref and Dirty. Oh my God, I'm already getting the good laughs in now, just with you two just going back and forth. So
I've been begging to get canceled. So, if we get on the show together more often than not, I know it's going to happen.
For some reason, you don't get canceled. For some reason,
look,
I'm just unprofessional.
I'm like Zach. Zach is like, okay, I'm just going to have to sit here and deal with this. But here I am. I'm going to deal with it because that's what I deal with on a weekly basis.
Yep.
So I'm like, hey, at some point, the luck might run out. Me and Zach might have to do a show together.
Yeah, it'll be. The full chaos show versus like the nice and calm. Let's focus on the fact show. I kind of like the dichotomy.
I hope we don't get weird, man. But God damn it, sit there.
It's getting weird.
It's getting weird, all right. Hey, I'm getting blood flow. I'm getting blood flow.
And on that note, thank you so much, Ref, for coming in on this show, on our crazy, chaotic show, as we always do. Thank you so much, man. And you already know we conversing after this is over.
Sign us up.
Oh, look, I'm done with these people. Bye. See you guys later. I'm done. Bye. See ya. Bye. You guys are idiots. Idiots.
Like
just like that. Hey, Rev, thanks, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.
We're going. Jesus.
Bye.
What are you
I don't
doing?
know.